They never taught you this about power. They taught you to be good. They taught you to explain yourself, to seek approval, to prove your worth. But the Stoics never wrote for men who wanted to be liked. They wrote for men who wanted to remain unshaken. Machiavelli understood this, not because he loved cruelty, but because he understood reality. If he were alive today, he wouldn't talk to you about romance or fantasy. He would talk to you about human behavior under pressure, about control without force, about strength without noise. Because beneath every interaction, work, friendship, relationships, there is an invisible struggle. Not for dominance, but for who depends on whom. And here is the uncomfortable truth most men avoid. The one who needs less always holds the advantage. Not because he manipulates, but because he is free. Today, you're going to learn 11 psychological blind spots that silently decide who chases, who invests, and who loses themselves trying to be chosen. These are not tricks. They are not games. They are patterns of human nature that appear wherever emotion exists. Most men lose, not because they lack intelligence, money, or looks, but because they are predictable. Predictability turns presence into background noise, and what becomes background is no longer respected. The Stoics warned us about this centuries ago. They taught that self-mastery precedes influence, that a man who cannot govern his impulses will always be governed by others. Yet most men do the opposite. They explain too much. They apologize for existing. They give attention freely and wonder why it loses value. Meanwhile, the man who understands these principles doesn't chase. He doesn't withdraw out of fear. He simply stops operating from need, and that alone changes everything. One of these weaknesses, number 10, is so decisive that misunderstanding it destroys the entire structure. Men master the first 9 and still lose everything because they hesitate when it matters most. And weakness number 11? That's the one that separates men who are temporarily desired from men who are impossible to replace. This isn't about controlling others. This is about controlling yourself so thoroughly that your presence becomes grounded, scarce, and respected. By the end of this video, you'll understand why. You don't lose because you care. You lose because you abandon your center, and you become powerful again the moment you reclaim it. Write the word discipline in the comments, not for the algorithm, but as a reminder to yourself. Because at the end, I'll give you one sentence, rooted in Stoic principle, that instantly restores your position without argument, force, or emotion. This is Stoic Iron Mind, and now we begin. Before we explore the first 4 weaknesses, understand this. Attraction, influence, and respect are not games. They are reflections of your inner discipline and presence. The Stoics taught that everything external is beyond your control. What you can control is how you act, how you respond, and how you value yourself. Every interaction is a test of this principle. Every conversation, every moment of attention, every word you speak is a measure of your self-governance. Those who fail are not overpowered by others. They are overpowered by their own impulses. Today, we'll dissect 4 core weaknesses that almost every man falls prey to and show you how Stoic mastery turns them into your advantage. Weakness 1. The need for external validation. The first weakness is the one you probably feel every day, whether you realize it or not. The need for constant approval and validation. Most men operate on the assumption, if I show that I like them, they will like me back. But the truth is, validation has value only when it is earned. A man who gives attention freely, without thought, without restraint, becomes predictable. Predictable presence is invisible. It is ordinary. It is taken for granted. The Stoic solution, the Stoic approach, is simple but radical. Grant attention with purpose, not habit. Observe before you react. Speak only when it adds value. Praise only when it matters. Consider this. Marcus Aurelius did not spend energy seeking approval from every senator, citizen, or soldier. He gave attention where it was meaningful, and that made his words carry weight. When you do this in modern life, whether in conversations, relationships, or at work, You naturally raise your value in the eyes of others. You are no longer predictable. You are a man of principle and focus. Retention tip for viewers: when you notice your impulses demanding instant validation, pause. Ask, is this necessary? Is this earned? Then act or don't. This subtle shift is invisible to most, but profound in results. Weakness 2. Relationship with uncertainty. Humans instinctively hate uncertainty. We crave closure, explanation, and predictability. But in the realm of influence and attraction, uncertainty is a tool, not manipulation, presence with purpose. Consider this: if everything in your life, your words and your actions are predictable, people stop paying attention. They no longer feel tension, anticipation, or intrigue. Predictability is the killer of respect. Stoic application: live a life that is not fully explained. Keep a rhythm, but do not bow to expectation. Let people observe, wonder, and appreciate your independence. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Use this principle. If someone challenges your space, your time, or your attention, respond with calm, not compliance. Let your independence create subtle tension. People are drawn to what they cannot fully control. Retention hook. The mind craves emptiness to fill it. A man who fills it with presence without desperation is irresistible. Weakness 3. Connection versus surrender. Many men confuse being present and attentive with giving in to emotion. Listening is easy. Feeling deeply is rare. But the real mastery is in reflecting emotion without losing self. When someone opens up to you, most men react impulsively. They rush to reassure, fix, or please. This is surrender. It signals dependency, not strength. Stoic practice: observe emotions without being consumed. Name emotions internally before responding externally. Respond calmly, measured, and with clear boundaries. A Stoic does not suppress emotion. They contain it. They guide the energy of interactions without losing themselves. Retention hook. The difference between influence and surrender is invisible, but it is decisive. When mastered, connection strengthens respect and attention, not dependency. Weakness 4. Stability amid energy shifts. People are volatile. Emotions fluctuate. Energy rises and falls. Most men react to external turbulence. They argue, over-explain, or chase clarity. Every reaction gives control to external events. The Stoic principle is, be like a rock amidst waves. Your inner state does not fluctuate with the tides of others. Practical application: maintain your schedule and your principles regardless of external mood swings. Observe, but do not react to chaos. Your calm becomes the anchor. This is magnetism through composure. It is quiet but undeniable. Others feel it, even without conscious recognition. Retention hook. Emotional stability is not indifference. It is strength. It signals unshakable value. Interlude. The first 4 weaknesses in action. To summarize part 1. 1. Validation. Give attention on only when it carries weight. 2. Uncertainty. Let absence and unpredictability reflect your independence. 3. Connection versus surrender. Observe, reflect, respond, but never yield control. 4. Stability. Anchor yourself. Chaos has no power over you. Applied consistently, these 4 principles transform your presence. You are no longer chasing attention. You command it. The next part will reveal weaknesses 5 to 8, where real tests occur: reactions to stress, perception of status, consistency in action, and life direction. These are the moments that separate ordinary men from men who cannot be replaced. Weakness 5. Reaction to chaos. Life is unpredictable. Stress, conflict, misunderstandings, or unexpected events happen daily. Most people react impulsively. They argue. They panic. They try to fix everything immediately. Stoics saw this clearly. You cannot control the external, only your response. Application: when faced with conflict, pause. Do not react instantly. Speak calmly. Speak less. Speak only with intention. The man who stays composed becomes a reference point. People begin to mirror his calm. They trust his presence without words. Example: a colleague or friend lashes out at you unexpectedly. The average man reacts emotionally, escalating tension. The Stoic observes, acknowledges the moment internally, and responds with measured clarity. The result: respect rises, chaos diminishes. Retention hook: power does not lie in winning arguments. It lies in maintaining your center while the world spins. Weakness 6. Real status cannot be faked. Status is not wealth, position, or loud confidence. It is perceived value, how you occupy space, how others instinctively respond to you. Fake it too long, and it collapses. Authenticity and mastery carry silent authority. Stoic application: present yourself confidently, but without arrogance. Let respe, CTA, come from actions and consistency, not loud claims. Observe how people treat you in small moments. This is the true measure of status. Retention hook: status is silent. You cannot shout it into existence. You earn it through presence and discipline. Weakness 7. Coherence between words and actions. Consistency is a magnet. Inconsistency destroys respect. Many men say one thing but behave differently. They compromise their principles for convenience or fear. This is fear disguised as maturity. Stoic application: speak truthfully. Act in accordance with your words. Correct deviations calmly, without dramatics. Maintain internal standards consistently. When people see coherence, they instinctively trust and respect you. Your influence grows naturally. Retention hook: your life is a story. Every inconsistency weakens the plot. Master coherence, and you write your narrative with authority. Weakness 8. Direction in life. Direction is clarity of purpose. Men who lack it defer decisions, seek external approval, and react to others' desires. Stoics knew clarity of purpose is the foundation of respect and influence. Application: know your priorities and act decisively. Move forward with or without validation from others. Let your presence communicate that you drive life, not react to it. A man with direction attracts naturally because he is stable, decisive, and aligned. People feel drawn to certainty in an uncertain world. Retention hook: direction is invisible power. It signals that your life is not a series of reactions, but intentional movement. Weakness 9. Security versus availability. Many men mistake constant presence for security. They make themselves always available, believing this increases value. Stoics understand desire is fueled by choice, not guarantee. Application: be present, but not dependent. Maintain your rhythm and priorities. Value your time and boundaries over constant appeasement. This teaches respect. People invest in you voluntarily, rather than expecting your submission. Retention hook: availability without value diminishes influence. Scarcity coupled with substance amplifies it. Weakness 10. The power of the cut. This is the ultimate test, knowing when to remove yourself from situations, interactions, or environments that violate your principles or boundaries. Many men hesitate. Fear of loss, fear of confrontation, fear of appearing harsh. These weaken influence. Stoic application: decide internally what is acceptable. Act decisively and calmly when lines are crossed. No arguments, no dramatics. Just action that reflects your standards. When executed correctly, this resets respect instantly. People recognize that you value yourself more than approval. Retention hook: to be unshakable, you must embrace loss without fear. The man who fears nothing commands all. Weakness 11. Integrity, the silent force. The final weakness, and the ultimate mastery, is integrity. This is what you do when nobody is watching. How you respond to challenges, how you manage frustration, how you maintain your principles even when it is inconvenient. Stoics called this the foundation of virtue and freedom. Integrity ensures your presence is respected long after attention fades. Application. Make choices consistent with your values, regardless of external pressure. Do not betray yourself to avoid discomfort or solitude. Build your life around principles, not reactions. When integrity is your baseline, you become impossible to replace. Respect endures, influence solidifies, and desire aligns naturally with your presence. Retention hook. Integrity is invisible, but it is the anchor of all power. Without it, everything else crumbles. You've just traveled through the 11 psychological truths that govern respect, influence, and unshakable presence. Notice this. None of them are about forcing others to behave a certain way. None of them are about manipulation, tricks, or superficial charm. Every principle we explored is about one thing only: controlling yourself. Because the world does not bend to those who lack discipline. The world does not honor those who react impulsively, seek constant approval, or abandon their principles at the first sign of discomfort. But it does respond powerfully to men who are centered, deliberate, and unwavering. Imagine what life looks like when your presence alone commands attention, when your words carry weight, because they are measured, not impulsive, when your actions align perfectly with your values, so others instinctively respect your boundaries. That is the Stoic path. That is the Iron Mind. You do not have to be the loudest voice in the room. You do not have to chase admiration or seek validation. You only have to cultivate inner discipline, presence, and integrity. That combination is magnetic. That combination is unshakable. And remember, mastery is not instantaneous. It is built moment by moment, choice by choice, action by action. Skip one principle, and the structure falters. Apply them all consistently, and you create a foundation that cannot be shaken by chaos, criticism, or the unpredictable nature of human behavior. So start today. Choose one principle to focus on this week. Maybe it's selective validation, managing your emotional stability, asserting your boundaries with calm authority, or simply living by integrity even when no one is watching. Whatever it is, act intentionally. Small, deliberate changes compound into unshakable influence. Your goal is not to control others. Your goal is to control yourself. Your goal is to become the man who cannot be replaced. The man whose presence, discipline, and integrity speak louder than any words ever could. If you apply even half of what you've learned today, you will notice the change in every interaction. People will unconsciously respond to your presence with respect. Your energy will command attention. Your life will no longer be dictated by the impulses of others, but by your own steadfast principles. Thank you for committing your focus to Stoic Iron Mind today. This is more than a video. It is a step on the journey toward unshakable self-mastery. If these lessons resonate with you, write the word integrity in the comments. Let it be your reminder that self-governance is not negotiable. Subscribe now and stay connected with Stoic Iron Mind. Here, we do not chase. We do not react. We observe, we act, and we stand unwavering. Every video is designed to strengthen your mind, sharpen your discipline, and remind you that freedom comes from mastery over self, not over others. Remember, the man who masters himself becomes impossible to replace. Step into that reality. Stand firm, stay disciplined, and embrace the power of the Stoic Iron Mind. Thank you for watching, and welcome to the path of unshakable presence.